Hello, kids. This is Payal here, your trainer, and I am sure you all were waiting to listen some stories from my end, right? Last time I narrated a very beautiful moral stories, and today I am going to narrate a Christmas story. Throughout the year, we wait for the festival of Christmas, right? It brings us joy, love. Okay, so are you all excited to listen to this exciting Christmas story? Okay, so let's start. So here we go with a Xmas story. So Christmas brings a lot of joy, love, right? So in this story also, we are going to see what is there. So let's start. The name of the story is The Little Christmas Tree. The little Christmas tree. So I have also a small little tree for you kids. It's so beautifully decorated, right? Now, let me narrate you the story. This is the little Christmas tree story for you kids. Once in a beautiful forest which was full of tall, dark green trees, there was a little fir tree. Other trees in the forest were tall, but the fir tree was short. One day, as the fir tree looked at the other trees, a rabbit came through the forest. The rabbit saw the little fir tree and hopped over it. The little fir tree was very embarrassed. Okay. The next day, a group of women were walking through the forest and saw the little fir tree. They laughed and called him the baby of the forest. Again, the little fir tree was embarrassed. Every day, the little fir tree tried to grow tall like the other trees in the forest, but it remained short. So one day, a stork came to the little fir tree and said, "The tall trees are being cut down to build the ships, and the big trees will be used as the ship mast to hold the white sails of the ship." After the stork left, the little fir tree was sad. He wanted to be a tall ship mast too. Months later in the fall, the little fir tree watched that some of the trees were chopped down. Some sparrows say these trees will be put inside the houses and it will be decorated for Christmas. The little fir tree wanted to get decorated too. And one day his wish came true on Christmas Eve. The little fir tree was cut down and taken to the house not far from the forest. So inside the warm house, the parents and the children began to decorate the fir tree. He was decorated with candles, colored apples, toys, little baskets of candy, and gold star on the top. The children loved the tree and talked about the baskets of candy and the toys that were placed around it. Then they sat down and listened to the fat man who told the story of Humpty Dumpty. Soon the fun was over and everyone went to bed. The little fir tree was so happy he thought that the fun would begin the next day morning. But he was wrong. Instead of more fun, the servants of the house took the little tree to the storeroom. The little tree felt very sad and lonely. But soon a gang of mice came to see what the new thing was in the storeroom. The little fir tree was so happy to see the mice. He also told them the story of Humpty Dumpty, but they were some mean mice too. They said, "Your story is stupid." The mice left, and the little fir tree was sad and alone once again. After some time, the pretty little fir tree was no longer pretty. He was dirty and brown. In the springtime, a young boy carried the little fir tree from the storeroom to the yard. He thought that the family would dump him now, but he was wrong. Finally, the little fir tree was replanted. He was so happy to be back in the forest with the other trees. All of a sudden, he understood that the little boy had taken him out so that he can live longer and he can be healthy. Each and every year, the family dug him up and again decorate him with great vigor. He was very happy with his new family. So, my dear kids, what did we understand from the story? We understand that everyone in this world is very important. You should never degrade yourself, love yourself, and you see everything will be at ease. Always be thankful to God for whatever you have. The Christmas story connects us in this way. It teaches us how to help each other, how to spread love and peace in the world. Okay, so my dear kids, can I move to the next exciting Christmas story? It is Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer stories, okay? So let me narrate. This is the Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer story for kids. There were many reindeers at the North Pole where Santa Claus lived to deliver toys and gifts to children on Christmas Eve. He chose the 8 of the best reindeers to pull his sleigh. His team of reindeers included Dasher, Dancer, Prancer, Vixen, Comet, Cupid, Donner, and Blitzen. Santa Claus fed them magical oats and corn so that they could fly high and fast. Santa divided his reindeers into 2 smaller groups, one with male reindeers and the other with female reindeers. Each one had a different personality and interest. Santa Claus had another little reindeer named Rudolph, the son of Donner and Blitzen. Rudolph had a big, bright red nose, and it was not a regular nose at all. Other reindeers laughed at Rudolph, called him names, and never let him join their funs and games. This made Rudolph very lonely and sad. One day before Christmas, Rudolph went to Santa Claus and asked if he could be on the sleigh team. Santa loved Rudolph very much, but pulling the sleigh all over the world was a very hard job. So he advised the little reindeer to stay at home and wait until he grew up. Overhearing the story, the other reindeers giggled a lot and kept making fun of him. They said that children would scream and cry if they saw his big, bright, red nose glowing. Hearing this, Rudolph became shy. He hid his unique nose in shame and walked back to his home. On Christmas Eve, a huge snowstorm hit just 1 hour before Santa Claus set off. The sky turned dark, the wind blew strongly, and the weather became very foggy. What would happen to Christmas? Santa was quite worried. He was afraid that he couldn't deliver the Christmas gifts to the children in such bad weather. Santa called on his sleigh tree to set off early, but it was so dark that he couldn't see the road. The sleigh got stuck in the trees and then hit the rocks. Christmas could be cancelled because of the storm. And if it happened, the children would be disappointed. Suddenly, Santa remembered Rudolph with his bright, shiny nose. He thought that the nose was so bright that it could act as a strong light to guide him on his sleigh. Santa ran to Rudolph and woke him up. The little reindeer was very surprised and delighted when he saw Santa. His nose even glowed more brightly than usual. Santa asked him to lead the other reindeers, pulled his sleigh. The Rudolph led the sleigh team on that dark night through the harsh wind and thick fog. But the brave little reindeer still tried his best to fly fast. The other reindeers followed Rudolph's big shiny nose to stay on track. Admiring Rudolph's bravery, they also tried their best to fly faster. As the sun rose and the fog began to melt away, Santa had already delivered all the Christmas toys to the children all over the world. Santa and the sleigh team were warmly welcomed by everyone. Even when they arrived home, Christmas was saved and Rudolph was hero of the day. Santa Claus presented Rudolph with the Medal of Honor for his bravery. He became the youngest and bravest reindeer to ever join Santa's sleigh team. From then on, everybody loved Rudolph. The other reindeers never laughed at him and called him funny names again. And Rudolph again became very proud of his bright red nose. So, my dear kids, what did you understand from this particular Christmas story? Be proud of whatever you have. Admire yourself, love yourself, and try to help everyone in the world. Try to do everything possible to make people happy and cheerful. And definitely one day you will be appreciated, right? So, my dear kids, how did you like this particular Christmas story? And I really hope the story was quite good. So stay connected with your trainer, Payal here. Till then, thank you. Bye-bye. Have a nice day, kiddos.